Okay, so our ability to categorize objects happens quickly and effortlessly. So, for instance, without really needing to reach out to manually explore the items in the images on this slide, most of us will have a decently accurate sense of which photo contains real fruit and which contains fake fruit, simply by looking at the images. Still, it's unclear how the brain codes for visual object categorization, particularly when it comes to categorizing real versus fake items. Ultimately, the purpose of this study was to investigate the neural and behavioral underpinnings of object categorization for real versus fake objects. So we presented 16 young adult participants with 300 images. These images were of objects that belonged to one of three categories, so either dessert, fruit, or flowers. Furthermore, half of the images from each category were of real items and the other half were of fake items. These images were presented either in color or in grayscale, and participants' task was essentially to judge each image and say whether they believed it contained a real item or a fake item, and they did this in an MRI scanner. So briefly, we found that participants tended to be more accurate at categorizing items when they were presented in color rather than in grayscale. This effect was only found in the real items category, suggesting that color is particularly important for identifying real objects. With regards to neural activation, we found greater activity when judging real relative to fake objects in both the pre and post central gyres, as well as the paracentral lobule and middle cingulate cortex. Importantly, primary visual cortex also showed this effect, but especially for objects presented in color. When we looked at how the brain responded to objects presented in color versus grayscale, we found increased activity in the collateral sulcus, but again, only for real objects. So together, our results have shown that color is a particularly important feature for object categorization, especially when categorizing real objects. Interestingly, early sensory regions like the primary visual cortex seem to code for this effect. Furthermore, our results suggest that the collateral sulcus is especially responsive to color in real but not fake objects. Given previous studies showing heightened activation in the collateral sulcus for visual texture information, it's possible that in our study, increased activity in the COS would reflect the extraction of texture information, which supported the categorization of real versus fake objects in our tests. Thank you.